Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Zach here on CapZ TV, and we're bringing you another breakdown review of Season 7, Episode 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, labeled Cindy Hawkins. So, spoiler warning if you haven't seen it on AMC Plus yet, or if it's not after its air date, which is next Sunday from the Sunday that I'm recording. Spoiler warning if you guys haven't seen it yet. And yeah, just a reminder I am trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So, like, if you would like to join me on that journey, that would mean a lot if you guys hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's jump in. So, yeah, this episode's labeled Cindy Hawkins, which at first I was like, who the fuck's Cindy Hawkins? What we come to find out, like, right away is how John Dory Sr. Was basically the adversary to Teddy pre-apocalypse. Man, I can't talk today. Um, and he helped recover 22 of 23 bodies that were found of the women that Teddy were Teddy's victims when they were trying to get him locked away. But he promised this other one that he would find, promised this mom to another one that he would find her body, which never ended up happening. That's who Cindy Hawkins is. And what ends up being really crazy is this bunker that June and John have hunkered down in, which was day 25 when they first showed us, which fast forwards to day 69 when all this is going down. That was Teddy's main base of operation. That's where his secret bunker was to do the things that he did pre-apocalypse. He had his like mortician set up in there, and just and ultimately it led to that was where the body was hidden. That was driving John crazy. So when the wall fell down, which happened on like day 69 or something, that's when they seen that destroyed all the whiskey that they had. And besides the little bit of drink that John and June would have together, he was sneaking some more because that was one of the things we learned last season. He had an alcohol problem, and John never really held that against his dad. But the bunker's starting to fall apart. John is also reaching out every day on the radio to see if he can contact anyone. So people have been hearing it, and what we come to find out while he's having all these hallucinations from going through detox on day 71, 2 days without drinks, he's like basically being haunted by Cindy Hawkins that he's got to put her body to rest, which he ends up being able to do in a crazy roundabout way. But what was really these stalkers, which we've seen in all the episodes so far, apparently they're not a part of Morgan and Strand's group. Could be something to do with Emil's brother. I'm not sure what the bounty hunter's name is. That's Emil's brother that's going to be looking for Morgan in revenge, but could be something to do with him perhaps. But so they are like trying to get into the bunker at some point and like, hey, we know you're down there. We don't want to hurt anyone. Well, it kind of like at one point when the wall collapsed, when like Morgan's like tearing, or not Morgan, John's tearing some stuff down, it ends up pinning June, and he ends up choosing the investigation over his family, which was a reoccurring thing that happened back in like they were talking about it last season. Like John Jr. said that how he always picked his work over his family, and even John Sr. talked about it a little bit. But so like he leaves the only family he has left, John, his daughter or June, his daughter-in-law. So he while he's up there, which is kind of a good thing, so he gets to notice that the stalkers are finding a way in, and he ends up starting to be able to pick them off, and he's taking on all these like four, five, six people who all have ARs and different rifles, and he's using just a Magnum pistol. And he ends up getting down to the bunker just in time because one got down there to be able to save June, who was still pinned and being approached by one of the stalkers. And so basically, another thing we found out, like, so June ends up faking this 365 days to get out of there thing that she supposedly read out of a book. Not only because she doesn't want to face the fact of the post-apocalyptics, like in a nuclear sense, is she doesn't know how to live post John being dead, and she doesn't like she knows what life looks like down there on a day-to-day basis, but when it comes to being up on the surface, not so much. And so like what ends up happening is like John's able to get his piece with that body and save June at the same time, as like this ghost is like telling him the whole episode like, oh, don't focus on her, focus on me. And he's like, but she's living. I really like too, they had this like Iron Man feel looking in the mask and stuff. I haven't like I noticed it, but I didn't notice it the first two episodes, but I kind of dig it, like where you get to see inside the mask. Really cool touch. Now you do have to ignore some of the radiation stuff because some of these people, yeah, some of the things that are happening, they're being exposed too much. They're not following the rules. I don't know. I'm not a radiation expert by any means, but even I can tell that. But it is what it is. It is a sci-fi show. So yeah, so John convinces June because the bunker's not going to hold up that they need to get out of there. And as they're suited up and getting ready to get out, the whole bunker collapse. And then it's thanks to them having the mask and suits on that they were able to survive. So like June like thanked John for like inspiring that. So when John wakes up, they're at the tower that Strand built. So Strand's people, basically they heard the radio, and John was a little bit like put off, like I know what you did to Morgan when he figures out it's June. And John was out for what seems like maybe a couple days, maybe a week. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So like Strand like kind of doesn't necessarily convince him, but like June's got convinced like this is the only way we live, and John's kind of like just taking it in. And like Strand offers like a shot to June, John, and himself, but John's deciding he's off the sauce right now. And like when like Strand told him rest up and I'll give you more of a tour of the place. And when he exits the room, June shows him like, yeah, we can't really leave. It's not really an option. They look out there and all the walkers that are surrounding the building, and he's like, maybe I should have took him up on that drink because he like realizes like we're in it for them, we're in it for the long haul. And then what ends up being crazy is we see someone digging at where the bunker collapsed, and it's Morgan. Morgan's talking on the radio. I need to know if you guys are down there. I heard your radio, and all of a sudden he gets the answer back on the radio, and guess who it is? It's Buddy Old Strand, and they get to have their tie. He's like, "I'm building what you could, and I'm keeping people safe. I'm this and that, and I'm all that." And Morgan's like, "I hope you're doing that. You should keep people safe. You should do the right thing. But if I find out you hurt anyone that I care about, or you're not doing that, I'll come after you. I'll do what you couldn't in the submarine back when, Victor shot him." And yeah, it's like it's really setting up the tension that's going to be between these two because we don't know whose alliance is with who at the moment. I mean, typically speaking, they're on Morgan, but like some people don't even know what Strand did, I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we still haven't seen we've seen them in the teaser for next episode, but we haven't seen Danielle, Al, Dwight, Sherry. Well, those two we didn't see in the teaser, but we had Charlie, Wes. Oh, we still haven't. We don't know what's up. Those stalkers could be part of Alicia's group, perhaps. You know what I mean? And yeah, so we're starting to get some of the base setting. Like we got a lot of the base setting, and the teaser for next week's episode. Like the air looked real clean, so the CRM got that group out of there. Daniel and all them got all of them to like where the air is clean and all that is what you see. I'll talk about more of that in a separate video. But yeah, I'm kind of curious if season 2 of The World Beyond is going to cross over with Fear at all, because we do know that the CRM is the ones that saved them, and plus Al's relationship with Beer Lady. I think her name's Isabel, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of I don't know. I've been really digging season 7 of Beer so far. Nothing intensely crazy happened. I mean, that shooting sequence with John Senior was really cool this episode. The hallucinations were a little trippy. I don't know. I didn't care for them too much, but I mean, I get it. It's definitely a good story. And yeah, I just really like where the season's going. I don't know. I've been really digging it. I'm curious what you guys think. Are you guys ready for? I mean, there's a chance that Fear ties in with this whole last season of The Walking Dead. There's a real possibility on that, especially with Morgan's origin from the beginning of the show. So I don't know. I would love to see it personally. And I remember, like, I can't help but think when Rick's disappearance happened, there's like people listening to the radio and they swore it was Morgan, Dwight, and Alicia on the radio when they're going to pick him up. So I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Any theories you guys have out there, leave down in the comments. And yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you guys like Walking Dead content, because I've been hitting a couple videos a week, especially with the two shows going on right now. And yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Take it easy. Peace.